President Donald Trump is renewing one of America's oldest relationships. The president pledged everlasting friendship for Great Britain after his meeting with Prime Minister Theresa May at the White House. Relations with two other major countries, Mexico and Russia, however, are still in flux tonight. And phone call diplomacy is now factoring in. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts is at the White House. Good evening, John.
Brad, good evening to you. A newly minted president's first visit of a foreign leader can be fraught with potential peril. But for Donald Trump, President Trump, today's summit seemed more like welcoming an old friend.
It's a great honor to have Winston Churchill back.
Bookending the just-returned Churchill bust in the Oval Office, President Trump and British Prime Minister Theresa May appeared eager to forge a close relationship and further strengthen the long-standing special ties between nations.
We have one of the great bonds. We pledge our lasting support to this most special relationship. Together, America and the United Kingdom are a beacon for prosperity and the rule of law.
Can I start by saying that I'm so pleased that I've been able to be here today, and thank you for inviting me so soon after your inauguration. And I'm delighted to be able to congratulate you on what was a stunning election victory.
With the Brexit looming in just 2 years, Britain needs a good friend and a strong bilateral trade relationship with the U.S. President Trump, who was in Scotland the day of the Brexit vote, has praised Brits for exercising their desire for self-determination, which he likened to his own election victory.
A free and independent Britain is a blessing to the world, and our relationship has never been stronger. Both America and Britain understand that governments must be responsive to everyday working people, that governments must represent their own citizens.
The Prime Minister said she was heartened by President Trump's 100% commitment to NATO. Their only point of departure today appeared to be the president's consideration of easing sanctions on Russia. Mr. Trump has a phone call with Vladimir Putin scheduled for tomorrow.
Well, I hear a call was set up, Steve, and we'll see what happens. As far as the sanctions, very early to be talking about that. But we look to have a great relationship with all countries, ideally.
We believe the sanctions should continue until we see that Minsk agreement fully implemented, and we've been continuing to argue that inside the European Union.
Looming over the meeting today, the president's continuing diplomatic feud with Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto. President Trump tweaked him again on Twitter this morning, writing, quote, "Mexico has taken advantage of the U.S. for long enough. Massive trade deficits and little help on the very weak border must change now." But a half hour later, the president was on the phone to Peña Nieto for an hour, trying to move the ball forward.
It was a very, very friendly call. But as you know, Mexico, with the United States, has out-negotiated us and beat us to a pulp through our past leaders. They've made us look foolish. We have a trade deficit of $60 billion with Mexico. On top of that, the border is soft and weak. Drugs are pouring in, and I'm not going to let that happen.
Who will pay for the wall remains in dispute. In a readout of the call with Peña Nieto, the White House said, quote, "Both presidents recognize their clear and very public differences of positions on this issue, but have agreed to work these differences out." But President Trump again made it clear he's not about to roll over on the issue.
I'm representing the people of the United States, and I'm going to represent them as somebody should represent them, not how they've been represented in the past, where we lose to every single country.
In addition to the call with Putin tomorrow, President Trump will also speak with the French President François Hollande and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. That last call may be a bit uncomfortable, as the president was extremely critical of Merkel's immigration policies during the campaign. Brett?
John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thank you.